I'm Tom Engel, this is my wife Lynn, and we started Max's Kicks for Kids. And I want to thank the Alliance for giving us this opportunity with the grant and the Seed and Scale program, because really it's a game changer for us as a small nonprofit. You're looking at us. And the growth that we were able to do and allowing a grant was, like I said, for us, the impact that we could move into Coatesville and use that money focusing on Coatesville to help make change here was really, really important. Next slide. So we started Max's Kicks for Kids in 2019 in honor of our son Max, who passed away. This is Max on the screen. He's at Foot Locker waiting for the store to open so he can purchase the newest and greatest pair of Iversons. He was a sneakerhead who loved shoes, and those shoes gave him confidence. So when he passed, and in his small career that he had, he gave back to people. He helped people. And our daughter said, you got to do shoes. So we picked shoes, and as we've gone down this path, we've really realized that the impact that shoes have on kids, helping them fit in, building their confidence, is so important. And families that are struggling, shoes are not an important thing on their mind. But so us being able to fill that gap has been a real reward for us. And we focus on the brand name shoes, Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, because that's what everyone else is wearing. So when you go to school, and if you got the shoes on that not your peers make and you get labeled, we want the kid who can't really afford those shoes to be able to wear those shoes. And we feel this is linked to mental health, and that's why we were linked into the mental health part of this grant program. Next slide. So our model is, when we started, we didn't really know how to do this. We just knew we wanted to get shoes to kids. But we did have a connection with Friends Association. So we utilized their caseworkers to identify the need. So that's something we didn't have to do. And then we went out, Lynn and I shopped, delivered the shoes to the caseworkers, and then they passed them on. So we utilized that model throughout our other partners that we've now created 10 other nonprofits, several of you are in the room here, to provide our shoes through. And to tell you a little story, as stories are impactful as we've heard today, we were out shopping at Adidas at the outlets, because that's still the best pricing point that we are able to find and give shoes to the kids that they want. They may not be the LeBrons that they want, but they are the same brands that they want. So we're there shopping. Lynn's running up and down the aisles. I got a size 3 here, I got a red one here, I got a boy's here, and we got a stack of shoes like 75 high. And this man comes up to me and says, what in the heck are you guys doing? And we tell him our story, and then he gets tears in his eyes, because he goes, I was that kid that couldn't afford shoes when I was growing up. So he reached in his wallet, gave us a donation on the spot.
As Tom said, we started with 42 pairs of shoes that first year with Friends Association, and we built on that. Now we have 10 partners. And these are the Coatesville organizations that we are currently giving shoes to. The original grant allowed us to expand the number of shoes for all of those Coatesville organizations, but CYWA is where we put most of that grant. So you have to look close at the picture, but that whole room is full of bags of shoes. And the year before we got the grant, we gave CYWA 100 pairs of shoes. So 100 kids whose families are being served by CYWA. And then with the grant, we were able to increase that to over 300. And we were even able to give some shoes to some of the moms in the shelters. And you should have seen us that day. You might, if you were in town the day we dropped them off, you probably wondered what the heck was going on, because we pulled up with our truck, and I think we had 2 vehicles, and we went inside, and Melissa said, do you need help? And I said, send everyone you got. And we were like ants going across the street with bags of shoes. We are also excited to partner with CYI this year. So those high schoolers that Jarvis was telling you about in the service corps, when they graduate from that program, they're all going to get a new pair of sneakers. So they can head back to school or wherever they're heading in those new shoes. The match portion of the seed and scale is going to allow us to continue those numbers into this year. Without that match, we wouldn't be able to make it happen. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about shoes. We're obsessed with shoes. We talk about shoes a lot. But without a good pair of sneakers that fit, that are not worn out, it's hard to be a kid. And it's hard for you to participate in PE. It's hard for you to run around after school and have fun with your friends. It's next to impossible to try out for a sports team if you don't have a decent pair of sneakers. And with the help of the Alliance, that's what we're making possible. And let's not forget about the emotional benefit. These are kids, little people who just want to be kids. They want to have fun. They want friends. They want to be like their peers, and they want to be liked by their peers. And I think we can all remember what that was like when we were kids, whether we had what we needed or not. And a new pair of Adidas or Nike or Under Armour sneakers can do that for kids. So our challenges, I think we're not alone when we say that sustainable fundraising is a challenge. Like Tom said, it's us, our daughter and our son-in-law, our neighbors, but we're very small. We went from 42 pairs of shoes that first year to, I think we were at 600 in 2023, and last year we did 1,000 pairs of shoes. And that is wonderful that we're able to do that. It's also challenging. It's challenging fundraising-wise. When we started out, we relied strictly on friends and family. And that well only lasts a certain amount of time. So the grants have helped a lot. And in addition to the grant that the Alliance gave us, we've made a lot of good connections in this room today and other days that we were in this room that are going to help us continue that fundraising. The growth, it's kind of a double-edged sword because we love it. We also love that part of picking out the shoes. But it's gotten to the point where, especially because we operate mostly back to school and Christmas time, it's a lot of shoe shopping and a lot of shoe returning. So we're tweaking the process a little bit. We brought in some extra hands. I think maybe our biggest challenge since the beginning has been sourcing shoes. We're still working on an in to Adidas or Nike or Under Armour. We have a nephew who's a professional athlete who was sponsored by Adidas, and that was going to be our in, and it didn't quite work out, and now he's retired. So if anybody has a connection, we'd love to talk about that, because we just go into the outlets and we're good shoppers. We end up spending about $40 a pair of shoes. But if we're going to keep growing, we're going to have to improve that model a little bit. As well as we're trying to make the process for the kids, we'd love to just be able to take 1,000 kids to the store and let them pick out a pair of shoes. Obviously not realistic, but we're trying to make the shopping experience for them as close to what we want our kids and our grandkids to have, so they have as much choice as possible. And again, we want to thank the Alliance for giving us our allowance. This is from one of our kiddos who received the shoes. And we're just thrilled to have the opportunity to continue Max's impact and to improve the lives of kids in Coatesville. Thanks.